also comes a fundamental thing, which is, look, Hamas has to realize, and Hamas, not to get too much into, the
Here we go! Fuck, here we go! 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 Here we go!
Y'all already know who it is. Here we go, baby. Welcome to the Gridiron Sports Podcast. I am your host, Majestic Sounds, Cowboy Nation. Another defeat in Week 18 for the Dallas Cowboys, but actually we needed to lose so we can kind of move up in the draft. The Dallas Cowboys really didn't need to win anyway, but shout out to Trey Lance. I got to say that, man. Trey Lance really impressed me. He really did. He had a pretty good game. He didn't throw a touchdown. He almost threw one, but he looked competent back there. No matter if he was under the center, no matter if he was in the pistol or the shotgun, he looked good in the read option all game long. Trey Lance looked good in the losing effort. We did lose against the Commanders, 23-19, which we should have won. And then if you go look at the stats, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up these stats real quick and let you guys see what I'm looking at. And here it is. Y'all should be able to see that. And like I said, Trey Lance had a good game. 20 out of 34, 58% of his passes were complete. 244 yards, as I mentioned, no touchdowns, but he almost had 2 touchdowns. Let's see, maybe even 3. He was close. We still got the same problem, ladies and gentlemen, and here, as you can see, no interceptions with a quarterback rating of 87, which is fairly good. We still have a red zone problem in the National Football League. If you get in the red zone and you can't score, that is a problem. You're going to have a hard time trying to beat playoff teams. Look at that score again, 23-19. And we got in the red zone, if I'm not mistaken, about 5 times in the game. So you're looking at 7 times 5, that's 35. Essentially, we should have had 35 points. So when you, as a head coach and an offensive coordinator and a play caller, when you see that your offense is having a hard time getting the ball in the end zone, it is your responsibility as the play caller to make plays or draw up plays and select plays to help your offense score touchdowns. And that's just my thing with Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer right now. Like, it just look like they just don't understand what's going on with the offense in the red zone. And if you go back to last year, we had a problem with that last year in 2023. Now it's went from bad to worse. We at the bottom of the league in red zone scoring, and that's a problem in the National Football League. You got to be able to score when you get in the red zone. And even the Minnesota and Detroit game last night, Minnesota had a problem with scoring in the red zone. And look what happened. They lost 31-9. And when you're playing against a team like the Detroit Lions, and we know firsthand, yes, we do, because they demolished us earlier this season. And so when you're playing a team that score a lot of points, you can't just kick field goals. And so that's what happened to us. I shout out to Brandon Aubrey for the field goals. But, dude, he can't be the only one scoring. And so Rico got a touchdown. Shout out to Rico Dowdle. But come on, man, that's 1 touchdown out of 5 trips to the red zone. That's ridiculous. And if again, as a coach, as an offensive coordinator, as a head coach, and as a play calling head coach who deals with the offensive side of the ball, he's supposed to be a quarterback whisperer. He's supposed to be an offensive minded head coach. Why can't you score a touchdown? We only scored 1 touchdown the whole game. Everything else was Brandon Aubrey. Like I've been saying all year long, Cavante Turpin and Brandon Aubrey has been our offense. And they are special teams. They are not part of the offense. But now Cavante is a part of the offense now. You have no choice. You have no choice. Brandon Aubrey is now a part of the offense. You have no choice. You have no choice. Dak Prescott is injured. So you're down to essentially Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. So I'm glad Trey Lance got a full-length game and we got a chance to see what he can do. Trey Lance, aka Trigger Trey. And I was very and thoroughly impressed with what I saw. But honestly, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. You got to score in the red zone. You're playing against a playoff caliber team. You can't kick field goals and expect to win. So let's look at the overall stats, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm almost done. Believe it or not, I'm not going to even hold y'all on this particular episode. I'm almost done. So let's look at some individual stats. And I'm going to talk about Rico. Like I told you, shout out to Rico. He got 72 yards off 22 carries. That's pretty good. The air and ground attack, the balance of that was pretty good. You know, you don't want to go over 35. And so they did not. 35 attempts. So I was impressed with that as well. So they kept a balanced attack. And let's run down and look at these receiving. And let's talk about Deuce Vaughn too. Because Deuce Vaughn had 6 carries, you know. For those of you who don't know, Ezekiel Elliott decided to ask for a release from the team, and they did so. So that's why we got a little dose of Deuce Vaughn and Hunter Lipke. Both of them did a phenomenal job. And of course, you know, Trey Lance is going to run. And they mixed in Cavante Turpin. So the running game, essentially 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. You're looking at a little over 30 attempts collectively from the running game. So it's very well balanced running and throwing attack by the Dallas Cowboys. And of course, I'm still not satisfied with Brandon Cooks with only 3 catches. You only got 3 catches for 15 yards, man. Come on, man. And lo and behold, my boy Jalen Tolbert, 4 catches. He leading the team. Of course, in the absence of CeeDee Lamb. But I said this last time, like, Brandon Cooks should be balling out. Now, he almost got a touchdown, but almost don't cut it. He's supposed to be the go-to guy. And look at Jonathan Mingo. Jonathan Mingo haven't showed me anything, ladies and gentlemen. He just hasn't. And we wasted a 4th round draft pick on this guy. He just hasn't showed me anything offensively at the wide receiver position. You know, that's just something for the future. Right now, he ain't it. But back to Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks should be ashamed of himself. Look at this. Look at it. Now, look at Jalen Tolbert numbers. Come on, dog. Look at his average. Look at a 32. And this dude got an 8 for his longest pass. This man got a 32-yard pass. And he ain't the first option nor the second option. He's the 3rd option. So he got more passes than Jay Ferguson, or should I say more catches, and a Schoonmaker, and your Brandon Cooks. Come on, and Cavante Turpin, and Flanord. So Jalen Tolbert is balling, ladies and gentlemen. I saw it last year. I said, dude's going to be all right. He's going to do just fine in the National Football League. He's doing great. He's still young. All or most of the guys on the team are young, but he's standing out the most in my humble opinion. So shout out to Jalen Tolbert. You had a phenomenal game. And I'm looking to see what else you do next year. And I'm probably going to do a video on Jalen Tolbert and Jordan Lewis, that is. And our defense did phenomenally. I think we had like 6 sacks. Chauncey Golston had 2 sacks. Michael Parsons, 2 sacks. Donovan Wilson, the safety, had a sack. And so we just showed out. Defensively, we had a phenomenal game. So you're looking at, what's that, 5 sacks from the defense? We had a phenomenal game out there. I saw Troy Pride. He got lifted off the practice squad and he came in and balled out. So defensively, we did a great job. I have no complaints with the defense because think about it. We had 5 Pro Bowlers to make it to the Pro Bowl or be selected for the Pro Bowl, and I get it. Jordan Lewis most definitely should have been selected to the Pro Bowl. But we all understand that it's a popularity contest. And so what if we were going to the playoffs and we had a better record? we'll probably have more players in the Pro Bowl, including Demarion Overshown, if he hadn't got injured. And that sums up pretty much the season, you guys. We just had way too many injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And as you look at the stats here, this really just like proved to me that we should have won the game. As I look at the time of possession, we had 37 minutes to their 22 minutes. First downs, we had 23 first downs to their 18 first downs. Total yards, 378 to their 269. So like, we was balling, but we just couldn't score in the red zone. Look at the passing yards, 228 versus 156. Look at the rushing yards, 150 versus 113. This is another problem about our team. Penalties, 11 penalties, and majority of them was on the offense. Pre-snap penalties, illegal formation, and false start. Man, we had so many false starts, it was ridiculous, Cowboy Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got to do better. We got to play disciplined football. So you guys should know the hard counts. You should know the cadence. You should know the plays. It's no reason for false starts. It's no reason for illegal shift. There's no excuse for those penalties. They're just having too many penalties. You look at the total return yards, we win in that category. Total plays, we had 75 total plays, so they're 55. There's 20 more plays we had. And then we was averaging 5 yards per play. And then we won the turnover margin. We didn't turn the ball over at all. And that was a shocker. Trey Lance threw no interception, nor did he fumble. I mean, Trey Lance had a real clean game, if you will. Now, he got sacked a few times. So the offensive line could do a little better. I can live with him being sacked, but interceptions, turnovers on downs, fumbles, that's another ball game. But Trey Lance played a real clean game, if you will, ladies and gentlemen. So I was thoroughly impressed with what he brought to the table this past Sunday evening. And, we just couldn't come away with the win. Mariota came out there. Of course, they're going to rest their players. They're going to rest Jalen Daniels. I don't blame them. That's y'all quarterback. Rest him. Don't let him get injured in the game right before the playoffs start. Come on now. So Dan Quinn sat him down and brought Mariota in, and I got to admit it, he took care of business. So ladies and gentlemen, it was another loss for us. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about this right here. Let me hit that button for you. That's what it's all about right there for Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and Will McClay. And at this point, Will McClay can only do what Jerry and Stephen allow him to do when it comes down to the draft. And that's all, Cowboy Nation. That's all Jerry Jones really waiting on. But Michael Parsons is trying to get Tyreek Hill. He's actually been talking to Tyreek Hill, and he wants Tyreek Hill to become a Dallas Cowboy. We shall see how that turn out. And if we can get him in, that'll be great. So we won't have to go into the draft trying to get, X, Y, and Z when we already got a guy that's going to come in and make a big impact immediately. Somebody help me say immediately. Shout out to Michael Parsons for trying to recruit the cheetah, as they call him, Tyreek Hill. And Michael Parsons had already told us that he don't want to be the highest defensive player in the National Football League. So he's willing to take a pay cut to bring in more players that can solidify us and make us better and get us to a championship game. So that's the ultimate goal. And Dallas Cowboys most definitely, in the front office that is, most definitely need to make up their mind on what they're going to do about the head coach situation as well. We got some players on their last year of their contract as well. So we'll just have to sit back, Cowboy Nation, and see what Jerry Jones and his son Stephen Jones going to do. And hopefully we can bring in a veteran wide receiver like a Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, because they ain't paid Jamar Chase. Cincinnati Bengals, they crazy. Ain't no way. They ain't paid T. Higgins. Cincinnati Bengals are crazy. Hey, We just got to sit back and see what's going to happen. Are they going to pay those wide receivers? If they don't pay, I love to have T. Higgins. I love to have a Jamar Chase. And I appreciate Michael Parsons for reaching out and lobbying for the cheetah. So if we can get one of them three, we'll be in great shape. We'll have somebody on the opposite side of CD Lamb. And of course, we need to re-sign Rico Dowdle, in my humble opinion, since you let go of my guy, Tony Pollard. You need to re-sign Rico, in my humble opinion. If you don't, then now you're going to have to lean heavily on the draft, which Jerry Jones never have a problem with leaning on the draft. That's what he do, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's my time. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. Make sure y'all share this content, ladies and gentlemen. Share it with a friend. Share it with a neighbor. Share it with a family member. Share it with your significant other. Share it with a stranger. And share it with your enemy. And maybe y'all might just become cool after talking about the Dallas Cowboys. DC for life.